maxing out her second center. And she's the first woman to ever max out their second center. She has 4 children. 4 children. She's very, very powerful. And I remember the first time I met her, she was so, you remember you came to Tapachers and you were so sick, you were vomiting, she was pregnant. She was just going, I'm ignorance on fire! And you know, that's what but you're much more than ignorance on fire. So what business activities do you do and teach your team to do that's made you so successful?
Oh, that's a great question, Kathy. And you know, I am honored to sit on this panel. I want to be taking notes in the audience with all of you. A couple of things. Number one is you've got to have a why bigger than your pain. Jeffrey Combs said that Friday. My why is sitting in the front row. My son, AJ, just wave, hey baby. And my daughter, Avery, hey. My beautiful husband, who I couldn't do any of this without, Christopher. And you know, and 2 kids upstairs. The biggest thing is that why has got to be bigger than your pain. So I am organized and I am focused. I treat this like game day. I mean, the Steelers and Broncos are playing soon, so I know we're all heading out to watch that. But anyway, it is game day, game on. I've got the war room in my office. I've got people's names up there. Pardon me, to max out a center, you've got to do 3 3-stars on one, like 6 3-stars on the other. You've got to know these numbers. You've got to know them cold. So when I'm working with someone, my focus is how do I get that person to 3-star? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. When Kevin Burnham and I first had the first conversation, I said, Kevin, look, number 1, you've got to get to executive. Number 2, you've got to get all those 10 consultants cycling 1 time a week. That's going to get you cycling 10 times a week. Then you've got to get them to 2 cycles a week. That's 2-star. Then 3 cycles a week. And then 4 cycles a week. You guys will get to 3-star. They did it in 6 months. You've got to teach people the numbers. That level of laser focus. The second thing is your income is directly proportional to your level of excitement. Jim Coover, he says, if you want to be successful, go back and do back-to-back cleanse days. Because you've got to be fired up, as the Spadists would say. You've got to have that in your belly. And don't look externally for motivation. You've got to look internally for motivation. I have a lot of people who come to me, Kathy, and be like, oh, could you just motivate me? No. I can't do that. I used to be a professional athlete before I became sick. And when I would get on that start line, the first thing I would do, I'd say, Dear God, help me to be the very best I can be on this day. And you know what? That prayer has not changed. Every single day, I wake up, and I'm sure Colin Crash does this, Lenny Evans does this, Kirsty Cody, Stephanie Blackburn, everyone in this room. You wake up, any leader, and you're not saying, gee, I'll be happy when. You're like, what excites me today? Maybe it's because someone dropped 65 pounds in 3 months. Maybe it's because, like Warren Lance, Warren, I got so much out of Warren being on that panel, because I've watched Warren for 6 years, and as he has become just a more amazing person, Arlene, you were already amazing, but as Warren has become even more amazing, he's attracting the caliber of people that match his amazingness. That's the bottom line, right? So look internally for that motivation. I mean, we are so excited. Like, I've got my playbook here. I've got it right here. This is my plan for the year. I've got Q1, Q2, Q2, 3, Q4. My husband's ready to kill me sometimes. I'm like, babe, can I read this to you? It's my vision letter, everything. How many people I'm going to sponsor the first quarter, second quarter, how many 3-stars, when, the targets. I mean, anyone who ever works with me, you're all welcome to do that openly. I am just insane about numbers. I'm OCD about that.
Okay. Some of the big words of wisdom is focus, and then game on, and get 3 stars on one side and 3 stars on the other side, and you're going to max out. It's not that hard. So what I see you do is your people rank advance, and you recognize, they rank advance, you recognize, and you push them to the next level. You tell them you're 1 or 2 away. So at those promotions, have you been driving those promotions in your team?
I am so excited about promotions, like I'm vibrating. I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight. Babe, you better get a different hotel room. Or maybe not. Anyway. I got 7 ice delays today. Anyway, this is a true story. My husband just got in the store. He bought 10 boxes. Okay. So, with the promotion, very important, GAP, grab pen, pencil, whatever you need to do. It's very important to recognize the small steps. Okay? Because we all start, it's like the parable of the 1 talent man. Bill and I started with a cleanse, right? We all get that one talent. What are you going to do with it? So someone enrolls their first person. You send an email. Let's say I sponsored Steve Bennett. I'd be like, congratulations, Steve. You're halfway to consultant. I'm going to copy 2 or 3 people up one. We have people in the team, Millionaire in Action, Team Builder Excellence, Diamond Team Builder. They're constantly recognizing. Monday morning, one of the first things I do, I work my business 10 to 4, Monday through Friday, 4 to 8:30, I don't do business. Thursday night is date night with my husband, I don't do business on Sunday. But the biggest thing, Monday morning, I'm like slammed with recognition email, recognition. And people love to be recognized. You've got to recognize the cycle. If you really understand the numbers, like my mentor Jimmy Smith taught me to, that you've got to understand that it's so simple. It all comes down to the consultant triangle, getting people paid, getting in that cycle. One cycle a year is how much money? Who can tell me?
$54.
It's $5,200, 54, sorry, one cycle a week. One cycle a week is $2,800 a year. 2 cycles a week is $5,600 a year. 10 cycles a week maintained is $28,000 a year. That puts you in the top 29 million in America. 10 cycles a week. So you want to start to recognize that, break it out, whatever they're making weekly, tell them annually. So if I sponsored Lenny and he cycled twice a week, I'd be like, Lenny, congratulations. You're now making, and then, fill it in, $5,600 a year. If you maintain that, where in America, Canada, Australia are you going to get a $5,600 raise right now? Where's that going to happen? But in this room, how many of you have ever cycled 2 or more times a week? It's the whole room. I'm the generic network marketing speaker. I could go to other companies. 2 people will put up their hand. The whole room puts up their hands here. Okay, I'm sorry.
Obviously have a lot of posture, and you teach people, that, posture is important. It's important in building your business, their confidence, your posture, and it really exudes out on you. So, can you tell me let's say if I just enrolled in your group, and I said, I want to do this so bad, I really want this, what would you make me do immediately?
Well, after I did a bunch of cheers on mute, but then no. Okay. So the first thing, Kathy Cooper said to me this. If it's not written down, it doesn't exist. Because I phoned her one day, I'm like, oh my gosh, Kathy, I'm so excited, about in-homes, we're doing this, we're getting the sign-up rate. She said, do you have it written down? I said, no. She said, then it doesn't exist. I went, okay, right? So the biggest thing is systems. And you've got to be systemized, because if you're going to grow a team, like watch how fast Lynn and Lisa and these girls are growing, they're systemized. If you want to grow fast, you've got to be systemized. So the first thing I would do, I'd say, Kathy, okay, so let's say I just signed her up and I don't know, I'm going to ask her the magic question. So Kathy, one of 3 things are going to happen to you. Firstly, you're going to get results, and you know what? People are going to notice. So I just need to ask you a question, because I want to set you up for success. Number 1, you can give the referrals to me. I'd be grateful. Number 2, we can teach you how to get your products paid for. And right now with triple PIBs and roll 3, it's free, right? And then the third thing, I'd say, Kathy, or we have people in this company, they're making 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, even 100,000.
I want to make 10,000.
You want to make 10,000? The next thing I'm going to do, 10 steps to success. I'm going to get her on the Kathy Coover webinar, right? 3K in 30 days. But I'm going to show her executive. I'm going to show her 1-star. I'm President's Pass. And in fact, if you understand the numbers, you can actually teach her how to make $10,000 her first month. 10,000, if you understand the numbers, because of the rank advancement bonuses, because of the cycles, because of the triple PIBs. And I would lay it out for her. But then Deborah Kay, wherever Deborah is, Deborah's my sponsor, she taught me. Then I would say to Kathy, now repeat it back to me.
Okay, I will do that.
And then I'd say, who are the 10 people you want to work with the most? Who do you want to link arms with? Tell me about them. Let's call them. Let's call them right
I've got
now.
a whole bunch of them.
Okay, I'm flying to your house right now.
So Susan would probably fly. She probably would. She probably would. And she would work with you until I became successful. So what I see you do is you work really hard with your people, and then you let them fly.
Mm-hmm. The biggest thing is 3-star, 3-star, 3-star. Wherever Matt Rockwell is in the room, I love you, Matt. Matt taught me that. Max out of 7 with 3 stars and 1 leg 6 in the other. And so what does the journey to 3-star entail? There's the physical skills, like Pam and Kevin, they weren't embracing in-homes. You have got to embrace all the methods, because if I sponsor Alex and Alex doesn't like to do, phone prospecting, but she likes to do in-homes, then I'm not going to try and convert her. I want to get her paid as fast as I can. You've got to meet people where they're at, as Pam said and Hillary said. So that's the first thing, is being able to understand that methodology, okay? The next thing, when it comes to working with your people and developing, is that there are certain skills. Connecting with people. Can this person, if I pull Kirsten Cody, does she know how to have someone take a look at a video on iSamovie? Does she know how to effectively take someone through isoproduct.com and coach them through a cleanse? Carol followed up with Jimmy several times a day. I mean, my gosh, and look what happened, right? So can this person do that? Can this person co-create consultants? And I'm going to stay with them until they hit 3-star. But I think this was so brilliant what Pam said, is that you want to work where your energy is deserved and not necessarily needed. Because Kathy taught me there's A players, B players, and C players. Right now, if someone told me they want to get their products paid for, they're not qualifying for the 80% of my time. But someone who says, I want to make money, they're getting 80% of my time. And I have other systems I do for the people who are a little slower to get started. Who was a little slow to get started? I was. It took 4 months, right? So you have to have other systems in place. Anyway, but that's the thing. And my wish for all of you, I want every one of you in the millionaire circle, because there is no limit. There is no competition. If someone ever comes up to you and says, I'm competing, stop. That's a lack of mentality. There is room. We'll get a bigger stage. But there is room for everyone. I want to see every single one of you in that millionaire circle. You've got to get systemized. You've got to get organized. You've got to have a game plan. Every day is like the Super Bowl. I love the football. But every day is like the Super Bowl. You don't go out on the field without your game plan. I had the privilege, I used to share the stage with Jim Rome before he passed, and he used to say, Susan, start your day before you end your day. It's just what Pam Barnum does. You write it out in advance, and then you wake up, you're fired up like Patty would say, and you just go for it. Every day, and then 10 items of gratitude. That's what Kathy taught me.